Participants and callers during this program are solely their own and do not necessarily reflect the views, opinions, or policies of ZIZ Broadcasting Corporation, its management, or sponsors. The station accepts no responsibility for statements made. Good morning, St. Kitts and Nevis, and welcome to The Edge here on ZIZ Radio 96.1 FM for Monday, October 27th, 2025. I'm Devon Cornelius, and thank you for joining me on the program for today. When we open the phone lines, you may call us at 465-1977 or 1903. This conversation is also being carried live on our social media platforms, so you can check us out on our YouTube channel at ZIZ Online, and of course via Facebook at ZIZ Broadcasting Corporation, and we're also live on Channel 5 on TV. Let me greet those of you who are listening from other parts of the world. Thank you so much for tuning in to today's edition of The Edge, and I look forward to having a fruitful conversation with you today. Now, the latest in terms of what's happening here in St. Kitts and Nevis and more so on the regional scene, 27 students have been evacuated from Jamaica as they prepare for Hurricane Melissa, which is expected to make landfall early Tuesday morning. So some 27 students were evacuated from Jamaica. I think they left Jamaica on Saturday and they went to Turks and Caicos, and they arrived here in St. Kitts and Nevis yesterday, Sunday. There are other students who decided to stay in Jamaica, and I am told that they are safely being accommodated at emergency shelters. But 27 students have since been evacuated. I'm also told that there are students from St. Kitts and Nevis who are studying in Cuba, and they have been moved to Havana, which is not expected to be impacted at all from the Hurricane Melissa. But it is something that we are monitoring very closely. Jamaica has already started to experience hurricane or storm-like conditions in terms of the rain and the weather and so on, but it is expected to make landfall there on Tuesday morning. The updates that I have seen from different media outlets coming out of Jamaica suggest that preparations are still underway. The government, in collaboration with the National Emergency Department or agency there, are working tirelessly to ensure that they are prepared. It begs the question, though, and not just for Jamaica, but for us across the Caribbean region, do we continue to wait until the very last minute to prepare for what we know is likely during this season, the hurricane season? But nevertheless, our thoughts and prayers are with the people of Jamaica as they ride out this storm. Weather updates, the latest update I saw from Hurricane Melissa is that it is moving at about 3 miles per hour, which is extremely slow. And, the slower it moves, the more powerful it gets. The last time a Category 5 hurricane hit Jamaica was in 1988, I believe. 1988, and that was Hurricane Gilbert. I also read elsewhere that 37 years prior to 1988, they also had a very devastating hurricane. And so Melissa is back 37 years later and will be making landfall on Jamaica. For those of you who have family and friends in Jamaica, my thoughts are with you as well. Those of you who have decided to remain in Jamaica, of course, stay tuned to local authorities for updates. Have your plans in place, your water, your emergency kits, and all of the necessary items. But from all reports, from all weather reports, this hurricane is expected to be very catastrophic. A Category 5, packing, I think, winds of 160 or 170 miles per hour with higher gusts. It's expected to be very, very, very powerful to hit Jamaica. The latest update that I have seen, that it says, and this is from the National Hurricane Center there in Miami, it is currently about 160 miles per hour. And the Hurricane Center has warned that destructive winds, storms, surge, and catastrophic flooding would worsen on Jamaica through Monday, into Monday night, and Tuesday morning. Now, the Haiti, the Dominican Republic, and parts of Cuba are also expected to be impacted by the passage of Hurricane Melissa, and so preparations are underway for this storm. Now, meteorologists have described Hurricane Melissa as potentially the most devastating storm in Jamaica's recorded history, surpassing even the catastrophic Hurricane Gilbert of 1988, which hit the island as a Category 4. All right, Category 4, with sustained winds of 130 miles per hour. Now, as of Monday morning, the Hurricane Center confirmed that Melissa's maximum sustained winds had reached 160 miles per hour, qualifying it as a full-fledged Category 5 storm. The Hurricane Center was located at about 130 miles south of Kingston, Jamaica, moving westward at a slow pace of just 3 miles per hour. This sluggish movement, forecasters say, will compound the damage, with rainfall totals predicted between 15 to 30 inches and localized areas receiving up to 40 inches. Such volumes are expected to cause catastrophic flooding, widespread landslides there, and severe infrastructure damage across the island. The National Hurricane Center has urged immediate evacuations from low-lying coastal regions, warning that storm surges could reach 9 to 13 feet in some areas. I'm seeing where parts of Clarendon and Kingston have been ordered to evacuate immediately. Torrential rain, destructive winds, and rising tides are anticipated to peak between noon today, Monday, and noon on Tuesday, tomorrow, with the storm expected to make landfall Monday night into early Tuesday morning. Satellite imagery data from the Hurricane Melissa tracker show that tropical storm force winds have already begun to lash Jamaica, steadily intensifying through Monday. Now, the core of Melissa is forecast to move over Jamaica, pass southeastern Cuba by Tuesday night, and reach the southeastern Bahamas by Wednesday. The Hurricane Melissa models, which depict potential storm paths, suggest that while Melissa will not make direct landfall on the U.S. East Coast, its outer moisture plume could extend into parts of New England later this week. That is the latest update on Hurricane Melissa. We'll take a break, and when we come back, we'll continue the conversation here on The Edge.
In case you don't know us, you're just twisting that dial away and managed to bump into us. This is ZIZ Radio from out of St. Kitts.
For life's finest moments, celebrate them with Skol Premium Lager. Pure malt, pure class, pure perfection. Skol, class and perfection in a bottle.
Smart Electronics and Island Electronics, your one-stop shop for all the latest electronics and electronic repairs. Smart Electronics and Island Electronics, where you can get specials on electronic items such as tablets, laptops, computers, TVs, cameras, Fire Stick, Android boxes, Bluetooth speakers, stoves, microwaves, blenders, washing machines, cellular phone accessories, and so much more. They have everything electronic for you. So, you don't really need to go to St. Martin anymore. Head straight to Smart Electronics, located at Port Zante, opposite the food court. Island Electronics on 4th Street, right in the heart of Bastia. And Value Mart Complex Farms Estate in Nevis. Visit them today or call them at 466-4271, 466-7648 in St. Kitts, and 469-4270 on Nevis. Your one-stop store for all your electronic wants and needs.
October just got hotter with Digicel. We're giving you the chance to win $1,000 cash every week. Here's how to get in the game. Activate the 14-day plan or higher. Pay your bill in full and on time. Sign up for postpaid or make the smart move and switch to Digicel. It's that simple. 4 weeks, 4 winners, 4 chances at $1,000 cash. So don't miss out. October is your month to win big. Digicel, keeping you better connected.
The views and opinions expressed by participants and callers during this program are solely their own and do not necessarily reflect the views, opinions, or policies of ZIZ Broadcasting Corporation, its management, or sponsors. The station accepts no responsibility for statements made. Welcome back to the Edge on ZIZ Radio 96.1 FM. I'm your host, Yvonne Cornelius, and thank you for joining me in the program for today. For those of you who are just tuning in, I shared that 27 students have returned to St. Kitts and Nevis from Jamaica as Hurricane Melissa looms, and they arrived yesterday, Sunday, October 26th, following their evacuation, which was coordinated by the Prime Minister's office and in collaboration with Inter-Caribbean Airways and the government of Jamaica. I'm also seeing from Trinidad and Tobago that more than 260 students are grappling with fear and uncertainty as they shelter on the UWI Mona campus in Jamaica as Hurricane Melissa approaches. Meanwhile, Prime Minister Kamla Persad-Bissessar said the government has been coordinating relief and repatriation efforts. Speaking to Guardian Media on Sunday, Vice President of the Trinidad and Tobago Student Association at the Mona campus, Jaden Paris, who represents the 2025 or 2026 cohort, said that students were advised to move closer to lower levels for safety. So as it is right now, they are currently still in Jamaica, and we'll be following very closely. It says that around 300 nationals are stranded on the Mona campus, describing the atmosphere as tense and emotionally draining. He confirmed that the group has been in touch with the Trinidad and Tobago consulate in Jamaica. Responding to the growing concern among the students in Jamaica, Persad-Bissessar told Guardian Media at the end of the Standing Finance Committee at the Parliament that the government has been coordinating relief. And this is relief in Jamaica in terms of providing resources for them and repatriation efforts. It is 11:19 and you're listening to The Edge. We open the phone lines now and begin taking your calls at 465-1977 or 1903. That's 465-1977 or 1903. We're taking your calls here on today's edition of The Edge. And again, thank you for joining me on the program for today. And that's the latest on Hurricane Melissa in terms of its approach to Jamaica and efforts by our government to get students who are studying in Jamaica back home. As I've mentioned, there are some students who have opted to remain in Jamaica to ride out the storm, but they are in close communication with the St. Kitts and Nevis consulate there in Jamaica and with senior government officials there. I can only imagine what they're feeling and what they're thinking, because with these hurricanes and how strong they are, these hurricanes are intensifying. Sometimes we prepare, but you don't know what the outcome may be. However, it does not suggest that one should not continue their preparation. So again, our thoughts and prayers are with the people of Jamaica. I read a statement from Prime Minister Drew where he gave his administration's commitment to assist the government and people of Jamaica in the aftermath of Hurricane Melissa, whatever it may be. He has committed to assist the government and people of Jamaica. It says that the government reiterates its steadfast support for all of its citizens abroad. For those students who have remained in Jamaica, the government has ensured they are safely accommodated, and are in regular contact with our officials. The Prime Minister said, quote, "Our thoughts and prayers are with them, with the people of Jamaica, and with all in the path of the storm." As the government continues to monitor Hurricane Melissa's progress and maintain direct contact with our nationals and regional partners, we also look ahead to the recovery. The government of St. Kitts and Nevis stands in full solidarity with the government and people of Jamaica and is prepared to offer assistance in the aftermath of the hurricane in any way it can. Our commitment to our citizens and our regional brothers and sisters remains steadfast. That is a statement from the St. Kitts Nevis Information Service from Prime Minister Drew on the Hurricane Melissa and efforts to repatriate our students, our citizens, our nationals who are pursuing studies in Jamaica. I want to introduce a conversation. I want to shift gears a bit and introduce a conversation that took place last week. And I think it is one that is rather interesting or intriguing. And I want to touch on the surface of it and, of course, get your opinion on that one as well. And it has to do with smoking in public areas. Not many people know, but smoking in public areas remain illegal in St. Kitts and Nevis, and that includes cigarettes, cigars, vaping, and other things like that. It remains illegal here in St. Kitts and Nevis. So we'll take a break, and when we come back, we'll head into our conversation.
Kitts and Nevis.
Don't touch that dial. More Sugar Mass 54 music right after this quick break.
For life's finest moments, celebrate them with Skoal Premium Lager. Pure malt, pure class, pure perfection. Skoal, class and perfection in a bottle.
Smart Electronics and Island Electronics, your one-stop shop for all the latest electronics and electronic repairs. Smart Electronics and Island Electronics, where you can get specials on electronic items such as tablets, laptops, computers, TVs, cameras, Fire Stick, Android boxes, Bluetooth speakers, stoves, microwaves, blenders, washing machines, cellular phones, cellular phone accessories, and so much more. They have everything electronic for you. So, you don't really need to go to St. Martin anymore. Head straight to Smart Electronics, located at Port Zante, opposite the food court. Island Electronics on 4th Street, right in the heart of Bastia. And Value Mart Complex Farms Estate in Nevis. Visit them today or call them at 466-4271. 466-7648 in St. Kitts and 469-4270 on Nevis. Your one-stop store for all your electronic wants and needs.
October just got hotter with Digicel. We're giving you the chance to win $1,000 cash every week. Here's how to get in the game. Activate a 14-day plan or higher. Pay your bill in full and on time. Sign up for postpaid or make the smart move and switch to Digicel. It's that simple. 4 weeks, 4 winners, 4 chances at $1,000 cash. So don't miss out. October is your month to win big. Digicel, keeping you better connected.
Reaching you wherever you are. ZIZ Radio, the golden voice of the nation.
Ay, ay, ay.
Welcome back to The Edge in ZIZ Radio, 96.1 FM. The callers on the line. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning.
Yes, how are you doing today?
Not bad, not bad. Let me make one appeal to it again. And if a financial problem, maybe government pay me and put some money correct this problem that we got, because communication go there. It don't make no sense me talk to you and then have to hang up to hear where you can flip on the radio to call you back. You know how you're supposed to communicate clearly, you know. Devon, you hear me?
Yeah, I'm listening to you, yes.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I will praise and talk out to the people of Jamaica, especially students, because I got students down too. Before you touch the smoking problem, we want to piggyback on Friday. I will have a question that I will make on Friday. Like, big up yourself. Devon, when you go to the poll, vote for your government, did you go with the intention that the government are going to fool you up front and then you're going to find out the problem after?
You said when I go to the poll? What was the question? You said when I go to the poll?
Yeah, when you go to the when you go to election, you vote, right? Did you go with the intention that the government are going to fool you? Right, fool you with while my campaign things that material fool them.
No,
and then now when everything over and you find out a fool them go fool, because they call you and say that politics is like a fool on money. Then after you don't want to find out that the man's fully. The relationship all time broke up. So me only just want you and the rest holy to tell me if that made the intention. And then probably maybe about 10 minutes before it goes, I may get back in. Maybe give me answer, because I may answer for you. But me just ask you on camera because okay. You hear me?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Good.
All right, Colin, thank you for your contribution to the conversation, and thank you for throwing that question out there. I think it's a question that all of us need to ask ourselves when you go to the polls to vote for an administration, or to vote for a party that will become the new administration. You would expect that they would deliver on their promises, that they would serve the people, that they would have the people's interest or the people's interests at the top priority. I think every single person who goes to the polls to vote, that is what they believe, that is what they think. When you cast that vote for that candidate, that party, you would expect them to deliver on their promises. You would expect them to represent the people and to do the work of the people. Now, if you get something different, you have every right to remove or to revoke that trust and confidence that you've placed in them. That is your democratic and constitutional right. And we are fortunate enough to live in a democratic society where we have the authority to choose our government by way of voting. And so you go to the polls and you express yourselves. You may not be someone who may be vocal on any issues, political or social, whatever it may be. But you do have that opportunity to go to the polls and cast your ballot. So, yes, caller, I understand the question, and I believe it is a question that all of us must ask ourselves, and it is a question that the representatives must also ask themselves, or must also think about, rather. When you go to the polls, you would expect that when you've given them your support, that they would deliver on their promises and that they would deliver for the people, because that is what they campaigned on. That is what they said that they were going to do. But we live in a democracy, and that means that you, the people, we, the people, have that power to decide who governs the affairs of our island. It is not for me to decide whether your representative or representatives have been working. It is for you to pay attention to what's happening and for you to make that decision, not for me. I can't make that decision for you. We all have that decision to make. We all have that choice. But it's not for me to make it for any one individual person. At the end of the day, it is a decision for you to make. But the short answer to your question, caller, is when I go to the polls, I expect the representative or the party that I vote for to deliver on their promises and to keep their word, to deliver for the people, to work for and on behalf of the people. Anything less, you should not occupy office. It's 11:36 and the phone lines are open. Call us at 465-1977 or 1903. We are taking your calls here on today's edition of The Edge. Caller, thank you for that quick intervention there. Let's head back to the phone lines and we'll take this call. Good morning, you're on the air.
Hello, good morning, Devon.
Good morning, caller, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Yeah, Devon, I have a question to ask you. They don't have an airline that flies from Jamaica to St. Kitts every day?
I don't think so.
Oh, because, when I was living back home, we had Liat, and Liat fly all into the Caribbean. But I don't know how it works in St. Kitts, but in America, if you're a citizen of America and you're in a foreign country and you want to go home, on an emergency basis, you can go to the embassy, and the embassy will help you go home. So I don't know if it's the same situation regarding Jamaica.
Right. So have you been following that our students have been evacuated from Jamaica?
Yeah. Okay.
Right. So I assume it's the same situation.
Oh, I understand. But they always tell you, the American citizen, that you have problems, get to the embassy. And they will facilitate you and help you to get home.
Oh,
so I don't know how it works back home.
That's good to know.
Okay.
All right, caller. Thank you
so much. Thank you for taking my call, David.
Yes, you are so welcome. Thank you so much for your contribution. The phone lines are open, and we're taking your calls 465-1977 and 1903. That's 1977 or 1903. We're taking your calls here. I wanted to introduce this conversation of smoking in public spaces and touch on it on the surface. So, senior government and law enforcement officials right here in St. Kitts and Nevis are issuing a stern warning that smoking in public spaces is strictly prohibited and can be met with various enforcement actions, including fines and possible imprisonment. We have a caller? We'll take the call. Hello, caller. Okay, we lost that caller. Under Section 3 of the Smoking Designated Areas Act 2023, smoking outside of the designated smoking areas is prohibited. Smoking is defined as the use of any lighted or heated device or pipe. Let's take this call. Good morning, you're on the air.
Hello, good morning, Devon over here. How was your weekend?
It was very good. Are you near your radio? I'm getting a feedback from you. Could you move away from the radio, please?
Yeah, turn it down, yes. I move away. Yes, that thing should have done straight long time because you're going to really get a lot of people sick. When I see people
What thing?
that are
What are you
coming
talking
around you
about?
by a neighbor, friend, and you see them just come lighting up.
Yeah, caller.
That is not good.
Yeah, what are you talking about? What do you mean?
Huh?
What thing are you referring to?
He's talking about the smoking in public and so on.
Right, so I'm telling you, it is on the books. It is a law that is on the books. It is illegal.
Oh, it's a law. Well, I'm glad. Well, I need to crack down on it because it's very disturbing.
Mm-hmm.
In the smoking, someone young smoking, the things they have to, I want to smell it. Wait till you reach your destination area, go in a little corner and smoke. And they don't know how dangerous it is. Second and smoking is what's going to get you sick. Yes. Okay.
All right, thank you so much for your
Get
contribution.
back in here.
Thank you for your contribution. So it covers things like cigarettes, cigars, cannabis, and vaping. And it is important to note that cannabis was decriminalized, but it is not legalized. As such, there are still penalties prescribed by law for these acts outside of designated areas. So you're talking about cigarettes as well, smoking in public spaces. For the life of me, I could never understand why people would want to light a cigarette or a spliff or whatever the case may be in a public area. You're going to a party and you want to smoke. I just find it to be disgusting and disrespectful. You're sitting amongst people and there are children around you, there are babies, and you want to smoke. I have absolutely no issue with people who smoke. If you want to smoke, that is your choice. And I don't discriminate against those who decide to smoke. What I will never understand and will never support is people who want to smoke in public spaces. Even after people have expressed to you, man, I have asthma, and I really can't take on the smoke. And they get upset with you. It's like, how the hell you have asthma? Why you want to have asthma and I hear smoking? I'm telling you, the level of ignorance. And so I just encourage people, you know what, to de-escalate the issue. You, with the asthma, you just move away. Because I'm telling you, it's a battle that you will not win. Because the level of ignorance is at an all-time high. But I will never understand people who want to smoke in public spaces. And I think that this is something that needs to be strictly enforced. And if we want to say the police picking and choosing and deciding whatever, then that is your business. That is your opinion. But smoking in public spaces, I could never understand it. Never understand it. While at the same time, though, while reading this, it says in designated areas. I don't know if there's a designated area in St. Kitts for smoking, other than when you have music festival and they have, what do you call that thing, the high rise? The smoking zone. But this is a serious question. Do we have designated areas in St. Kitts and Nevis for smoking? No. So I want to be fair here. Yes, if you want to smoke, you can smoke because that is your right. But the act is here saying that designated areas. But as far as I know, I stand to be corrected. There is no designated smoking area in St. Kitts and Nevis. There is no building or facility or wherever you could go and light your and legally smoke. There is none. So that's a flip side to the argument that I think the authorities need to look into. You can't have here in an act and say that you can smoke in designated smoking areas. So it's like you're telling the smokers only smoke during the music festival. You understand what I mean? It might sound like I'm advocating for the smokers here. But I want to be fair. Yes, I don't have an issue with you wanting to smoke, but just don't smoke in a public area. But at the same time, There are no designated areas other than when you have a public event like music festival. You know, we have a call on the line. Hello, caller on the air. Good morning.
Hello, how are you?
I am doing very well, and yourself?
A question. How much hospital we have?
How much what?
How much hospital we have?
You say how many hospitals we have in St. Kitts?
How much hospital we have in St. Kitts?
It's three of them, right? Joseph and France.
Something by your area not working so good. How much hospital we have in St. Kitts? You don't hear that? What are you laughing for? What are you laughing at me for?
I'm not laughing at you. We have 3 hospitals in St. Kitts.
Some of the ambulance going to Nevis?
I don't know.
Really don't know?
No.
So all them people are coming over were dead. If them ambulance were there, they wouldn't have dead. That's can't laugh at me. I can't hear you another time when I could hear you.
What? All right, Carla. Okay. Thank you so much for your contribution to the program. It's 11:45 and we're taking your calls here on The Edge. The phone lines remain open at 465-1977 or 1903. You're listening to The Edge. For those of you who may have just joined the conversation, earlier I shared some details on update on Hurricane Melissa, and it is expected to make landfall there in Jamaica tonight into early Tuesday morning. The government of St. Kitts and Nevis has evacuated 27 students who are studying there, and they arrived in the Federation on Sunday, October 26th, which was yesterday. I'm also reading where other islands have decided to evacuate, while others have decided that their students should remain there and shelter in place. We shifted the conversation now to smoking in public spaces. So I do not support this smoking in public spaces. I don't think you should be smoking in public spaces. You're at an event and you decide to pull out your cigarette and spliff and you start to smoke. I don't care whether it is cannabis or cigarette or vaping or whatever the case is. I will never understand it and I will never support it. But at the same time, the act says the Smoking Designated Areas Act 2023. Smoking outside of a designated smoking area is prohibited. Right? That is what it says. If you smoke outside of a designated smoking area, it's prohibited. But where are the smoking areas? Where are the smoking areas? It says smoking is the act, or in the act, or is defined in the act as the use of any lighted or heated device or pipe or any other lighted or heated cannabis or cannabis resin intended for inhalation, including electronic smoking devices. We have a call on the line. All right, phone lines remain open. Call us at 465-1977 or 1903. If we have no calls, let's take a break and we come back. We'll begin to wrap up the conversation here for today.
Celebrate them with Skol Premium Lager. Pure malt, pure class, pure perfection. Skol, class and perfection in a bottle.
Welcome back to the Edge and ZIZ Radio. Okay, we lost that call. All right. Okay, we have a caller. Hello, caller. You're on the air. Good morning.
Yes, the next thing is on my mind, what I'm looking at. With all the investors what coming to think it, and all the things that they're doing. We ain't getting nowhere. We have our money going, I must say, he ain't doing nothing. Look here, they're talking about these people, 10,000 people supposed to come. They ain't supposed to get their own hospital, not their own police station. There's a place I went to St. Martin, and there's a place I saw him Guana Bay. It was designated like that. Nobody lived there, nothing. Well, investors don't come and they build it up. But you have to come in town. Anything happen to the police station. So I don't know really what they're doing. I hope they know what they're doing. Can't do somebody this thing a song a couple days ago. I know what they're doing. Because if they sign after this thing, that's going to be a little country in another country, and that ain't good. Them people now, just as if these other people come here opening stores and put and things, and they having their own people. Very rare see a kitchen cleaning, one or two others see. Very rare. You see a lot of other people working there we want to work too. But you're young, you're old at my age, I could have do a little work and nothing to make me feeling sick. I'm not boasting. But I'm feeling in good health and not even that long time you could have get that deal. In the 80s and in the 90s, but now you can't get that deal. So what I'm trying to say, I was speaking to someone about it yesterday, a young person. They said, well, we went out there 2 years, we went out there, but we got to under rules. So what you about it, you wouldn't know. We got to ask somebody who like me and who like your mama, so about a man now is a man in the 40. You know, you used to make no joke if you do anything, he come in for you. Midnight, for the morning, or midday. So we need to know what's really going on in our country. We cannot just let our country go down the drain like that. And these people come in here and say they're from Belgium or Russia or France. And then what happen, we're going to come like a second class citizen to them. And we are say CARICOM, yes, CARICOM. A lot of people from the CARICOM here, especially down from Jamaica side and so. And when we had the thing, they say, we're going to be like a pig, a little pig, some little pig, and they were sucking them. Them, Guinea, Guyana, Trinidad and all them, they had things in front of us, but we had the sugar, and that what happened. And now they come in here, make us can't live happily, and we just clean our land to them and so. If we hear how much land needs to be blood up more monkey here. What happened to my 6 grandchildren? Only one I get on the land, you know.
All right, caller. All right, caller. Thank you so much for your contribution to the program. We are out of time. We're going to have to bring the program to a close as we make way for the midday news, which comes up very shortly. Let me say thank you so much for your contribution to the program. And until next time, you guys stay safe. Continue to enjoy the rest of your Monday. Don't drink and drive. Don't text and drive. And please take it easy on the road. Stay tuned.